Alright, so welcome back guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing my review of The Walking Dead Season 9 Episode 15. I apologize for the late review. I had some issues with DVR and then I just been busy these past few weeks. I'm going to get back on track. I got a bunch of videos coming up planned, so definitely stay tuned because you'll be getting a lot of content moving forward as we move forward with The Walking Dead taking a break. So we'll be getting into some new stuff. But let's get into this review right now. So we started off the episode with this married or couple. And we watched their kind of relationship blossom and, see them have a life at Hilltop. Now, I feel like my opinion here is going to be in the minority here. But I didn't like it. If you want my honest opinion, I feel like we should have met these characters earlier on in the season, got introduced to them, gotten to know them a little bit better. Then, when they died at the hands of Alpha, I feel like it would have hit more. I feel like, okay, yes, their deaths weren't that important, but at the same point, I don't know, it just felt like, I don't know. Why highlight this couple in particular? Why not just take a random survivor for Alpha to kill? Then we get to the fair, and we got Ezekiel making his big speech. I really did enjoy Ezekiel's speech. I really like how he referenced Rick and Jesus. Really good callbacks to earlier seasons about them first meeting and everything. Just a really good referencing and a very good speech. I love Corey Payne. It was a very good, well-handled scene for him, and I really like how they had him be the one to deliver it instead of having someone else do it. I think that Kingdom being the host of the fair worked out for the best for the TV show. Let's move on to the signing of the little treaty. Now, I really like this scene here. We find out that that Alexandria's council has granted Lydia asylum, and that the Kingdom has also offered Daryl somewhat of allowed to stay there as well. And now, the signing of the contract is something I really liked. And we get some back and forth from Tara. Now, Tara is a character that I haven't really liked for a couple of seasons. And this scene highlighted it a lot as to why I don't like Tara. The reason I don't like Tara is because she's quick to judge other characters, yet forgetting where she comes from. Think about the past few seasons with Dwight. She was always, oh, he's the enemy, he's out to get us. Then this season with Lydia, oh, she's the enemy, we can't trust her. And I like how both Rachel and Michonne threw it back into her face that they were both cautious of her when they showed up where they were living. I love that scene. Because Tara, for me at least, is just a pain in the neck. She's always judging other people. And I'm like, especially when Michonne brought up, well, you were on the other side of the governor's firing line. And it's like, thank you, Michonne. Remind her of that. Just in case anybody's curious, the reason Rachel was there was that the actress who plays Cindy had scheduling issues, and she wasn't able to be there due to those scheduling issues. So Rachel they hired an actress to play an older Rachel. I actually like the actress who played an older Rachel. I'm assuming Cindy will probably be back. Probably Rachel just took her place just due to the actress not being available at the time. But I really like that. We got them signing the contract, and then they decide to send some extra protection over to Hilltop following news of the couples that we saw earlier in the scene going missing. So then we got our group going out to meet with Ozzy, and they decide that this is definitely the work of the Whisperers. So they send a team back to guard Hilltop while Michonne, Daryl, and Carol and Yumiko go to investigate. Now, my biggest thing that I felt odd about this scene is why Yumiko went. I get it. She probably wanted to, prove herself to the Hilltop and, earn her place. But it also felt weird, especially with what happens towards the end of the episode, as to, why. It just felt strange and out of place. Overall, though, I really liked this scene. Just want to go back and highlight something from the treaty that I forgot to mention before, is that they do decide to enact an agreement where if one community is attacked, then the other communities will align with them and help them. So I really like that, because this also comes into play here as they send a combined force of both Kingdom and Hilltop, and I think some Alexandrians to to protect the hilltop. So I really like how they enacted that here. Some really good stuff and really good setup for the upcoming things that happen at the end of the episode. You got one of the best moments of the episode was when Alpha revealed herself at the fair and was talking to Ezekiel. I love that moment. It just sent chills down my spine, thinking, "Oh no, it's Ezekiel's moment." I honestly thought at that moment that Ezekiel was gonna die. Like I almost was like, "This is it. It's confirmation." So I really like how they used that to lead us in think us that they were going in one way, and then took a sharp left turn and went an entire different way. So I really like how that scene played out between the two of them. Then we move on to our group that went to find the missing people, Daryl, Carol, Michonne, and Yumiko. Now I really like what they did here and having it be at night when they were going for the woods and going through the Whisper camp. That was a very creepy scene. And I love the scene where they're all killing the walkers, doing a callback to No Way Out. And then you got Daryl who realizes it's a trap. It's a trap, but it's too late, and they try to go back. I really love that. And another thing I really liked about this scene is it called back to like Negan with the Saviors, because as they're being surrounded, or as they're fighting off, the Whispers come out and they're all surrounded again, similar to the Negan arc. I like that it's a call. As long as it's a callback, I'm fine. But I feel like if they did it where Angel Kane was kind of ripping off Gimple again, I might not like it as much. Right now I'm looking at it as a callback, so I'm liking it just as much as I did there. But again, really good scene. Nighttime was a brilliant way to have it done because it makes it more creepy and ominous. And then, as you know, Beta steps out and tells the group to drop their weapons. Great scene. The one thing I'm questioning though is I feel like they overskipped how he got out of the elevator shaft. I know people probably just brush it off as, oh, we don't need to know, but I don't know. So to me, I feel like we should have seen him get out of there somehow. But then you got Alpha coming back. She returns from being at the fair, and she's got blood on her knife, and she brings Daryl forward and takes him to see her massive herd of walkers. Now, I like the scene here between Daryl and Alpha. Very good scene, well handled, and I really like it. The back and forth between the two of them, because you got the two of them, especially with Daryl stepping up this season as the leader. I really like what they did there. Great back and forth. His concern for Lydia, of course, very well done. As he's told that Lydia is no longer a problem to them. So I really like that. We got the confirmation that the Whispers being called by their name by Alpha. Now, the one thing I'm probably gonna go for a con in this episode or in this scene was the herd looked very CGI. Maybe it was just me, but it looked like they were relying a little bit too much on CGI for the herd. So then we get a flashback scene in regards to what happened between Lydia and Alpha. Alpha showed up at the movie at the hilltop or the kingdom at the fair. Now, I really like the back and forth between the two of them, how Lydia's saying she trusts them, and she wants to believe that they can make the world work, and how Alpha's trying to say she's been brainwashed and poisoned, and that the Whisper's way of life is doing away, and how if she continues down this way, they pretty much disown her. Which I really like, that back and forth between the two of them. Maybe I haven't read this part in the comics in a while, but I don't remember having that back and forth between the two of them, so I really like having that here. But then we see the next morning how that has affected Alpha as she asks Beta to give her some space and she needs alone time. And she notices another Whisperer watching her. And during that time period, that Whisperer notices that she's crying. And as we know, the Whispers view any signs of like emotion or crying as weakness. So Alpha, of course, calls her over and kills her. And you just see how Alpha kind of processing the loss of Lydia. So then we get caught back of Daryl's group. They find Siddiq tied up to a tree, and he's like very shaken and scared due to what happened to him. And we get more information on that in the next scene as they head up the mountain, and we are revealed to the Pike death scene that for comic readers was the big moment coming this season. Pretty much the biggest moment since prior to Negan introduction back in the season 6 finale. But I really like what they did here. with the art groups reacting as they see each character pike. That was a very well handled scene, like with Michonne and Siddiq as they look on in horror as to what has happened. Very well handled. I also really like what they did between Daryl and Carol. Another brilliantly handled scene. Spoiler alert, of course, as I'm reviewing this, is Henry gets piked. And I love the callback to season 2 when Daryl was holding her back from Sophia. Brilliantly done scene between the two of them. Nice callback. Really love the two actors there as Daryl saying, "Don't look, just look at me." Brilliantly done, and you can just see Carol devastated by it all. Now, as for the Pike death scene itself, I feel like the Pikes worked pretty well. You had some good characters. You got Ozzy and the other Highwaymen. I was kind of disappointed by that because I did like Ozzy as a character. However, the purpose of the Highwaymen is pretty much pointless now. They're just going to mold into the rest of the group. We're not going to have anything else with them. So it kind of makes sense. DJ I had called. He was a cool guy. We needed a familiar face. He was piked. I don't really care. He was fine. Tammy, we knew from the comics she was going. You got the two teenagers I had called. I think it was Rodney. And then the girl I said was a 50-50. You know, pretty much called that one there. Then you got Enid was a big shocker to me. I thought they were going to do Alden. I'm curious to see what they do with her now, since pretty much she was kind of the replacement for comic Sophia. So I'm curious to see what they remix now. Then you had Tara. I had predicted her just due to some things going on with what they could do with Daryl's character. Plus, she's been around for a while, and not that I don't like the actress. I think the actress is great. I just feel like it was Tara's time to go. But the biggest shock, of course, was Henry's death. He wasn't replacing Henry or Carl's storyline from the comics, even though he took on some of the storyline. It kind of surprised me. I'm curious to see what they do now. So then we end the episode with Siddiq pretty much giving a eulogy for everybody that's gone or that died. Now, I feel like he did a good, decent job. It was no Rick Grimes speech, which I feel like would have helped the scene better. I feel like Daryl should have gotten up there. I know people argue Daryl's not a talker, but I feel like they could have used something there where maybe him, Carol, and Michonne went up there and gave like a speech instead of Siddiq. I feel like Siddiq giving the speech was a little bit forced, but we get some background regarding what happened, and him and a bunch of other people were captured, but we hear the story and how Ozzy and DJ found them, and I really liked how like DJ Xavier pretty much went in there and was trying to save them, kind of living up to like the savior name in a way. I find that kind of ironic in a way. But then you get the story about how they all worked together to fight back, trying to save each other, but it was just not enough, and Alpha shows up and kills, and that's like the end of it all. I do feel like we should have seen them like being held down right before they were beheaded or whatever. I get what they were trying to go for, kind of going for a nice clean death in that sense. But I feel like it would have also worked better if we gotten a little bit more in that scene. Just a tad bit more. We didn't need to see them like get their heads cut off or whatever. But just maybe right before that we could have seen something. But still a very well handled scene and a very well done speech. And then we end the episode probably maybe a week or two later with Daryl and Lydia at the Pikes, and Lydia leaves the H necklace that Henry gave her at his gravesite pretty much. So very well done episode. If I had to give this episode a rating, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Few cons here and there, but overall very well handled episode, and I was very much enjoyed by what they did. So yeah guys, that's my review of The Walking Dead Season 9 Episode 15, The Calm Before. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss any more future Walking Dead content moving forward. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.